how many of you know this East India Company? You know, everyone knows it. Especially after coronavirus, people look back to 1918, where you have a first Spanish flu, and a lot of people reading about the previous things. Now they also come about colonial times when we face this pandemic. The East India Company is actually the one which ruled India for most of the time. Last few decades is what the British government took. It's not like Britishers rule us. It's run by East India Company. And even before them, there is another company called as VOC. Something like this. This is a Dutch company which is known for its, like, you know, this is the first company, Dutch East India Company. So I studied these companies when I was in Netherlands. That's a symbol, I forgot. So it's essentially VOC. So they came at like 1630s, and these guys came out like 1730s or 40s. But the point is, these are really big companies. These companies actually had 1 million employees. They have their own army of, I don't know, 20, 30,000 soldiers. So these such a big companies doing business across the continents. Did you wonder how did they even did this business analytics? Because, you know, it could be a business, it could be a kingdom, it could be, in fact, this is actually a business. They are actually companies, all right? So they would have done the decisions based on the data. Otherwise, there is a very less chance of being successful. In fact, this company did not succeed in 1700s, 1800s. They could not. And East India Company was really successful. They are very organized, very hierarchical. They are very successful. Okay. I have a question. Can't see the questions raised by the people. Yes, I think so. I can read the questions. I'm new to this tool as well. All right, there's a question from Vijay asking, oh, that's a question. I can't see the questions raised by other people. Apparently no, but I'll read out all the questions for you. Do not worry. I'll take that straight. And maybe I'll just speak to the team and see if I know this tool better. Do you have any option to give that? Okay, so coming back to our discussion. So this is, they actually done the decisions, but it's just that the decisions are made, you know, the data is coming from different continents, maybe on horses or on ships. It takes maybe weeks and months to reach. Even the integrity data is being questioned because it's basically that people are carrying the information on their memories, and you have to trust them, all right? There could be a lot of tampering, a lot of vested interest, etc. All right. In spite of it, they still do the decisions based on the data. But the thing is, even competitors, everyone has the same platform, right? So everyone is same. So whoever can do better decisions with the whatever data possible manner they can receive, channels, they'll be more successful, as simple as that. Invention of computers made things much better. You can store the information. Let's say I'm talking about 1980s. Well, computers were invented a decade and maybe 2 decades before that, but it really came into business. Okay, Srini has an answer for it. So if you want, if you can send a message to panelists and all attendees, then it will appear to everyone. I think that's good. Thank you, Srini. So please do, guys, when you ask questions, you select panelists and attendees so that everyone can see your question. I think that's best. Thank you, Srini. All right. We have chosen to panelist instead of, okay. Can anyone try to, yeah, I can see Prabal has actually sent to panelists and attendees. So which means everyone has permission. So I tried, but it's not working. No, I think this message is seen by everyone. Prabal, is everyone, yes, everyone see your message. So that's perfect. So we don't have any hindrance in the communication. Fantastic. I was worried about it as well. So everyone can simply, yes, perfect, wonderful. Now I'm happy. Okay, so computers made things really better because you could actually store information digitally, etc. So businesses tried. I mean, you could even, like, you know, it's a wonderful thing that in 40 years, you know, 1980, what's now 2020, 40 years, the evolution, the speed we have grown is tremendous. You know, we have now recreating our human intelligence. That's what I do for my living, artificial intelligence, right? And you might be knowing this guy, Tesla CEO, Elon Musk. This guy has a plans to actually, you can actually go and land on Mars. It's not just you're just landing. He's planning to build the entire, the stores and pubs and movie theaters and everything. So you're gonna actually colonize the Mars. I don't know how much it's possible, but he has a track record of turning things what he says, and he has done it once in Australia, which he have built a huge battery bank which can supply non-conventional energy, which is a wind energy, to the entire city, which everyone thought it was not possible. He did it. So he has a track record of doing things what he says. So within 40 years from the invention of computer, now we are trying to colonize the Mars, and we have much more things in the pipeline. Yeah, we were feeling invincible until the coronavirus showed that we are indeed humans in another way. But in spite of that, the massive technological advancement happened because people are able to take right decisions, synchronize the human intelligence, energy, workforce to get the things moving forward. This all happened because of the computers. Companies started thriving, really thriving across all the regions, but suddenly they got into a problem. The problem is called as data islands. Okay, so data islands is essentially you have the data over here, data over here, data over here. If I have to make a decision, I need to bring in all of this data to one location, isn't it? And then I take a call. But the data are stored in different formats, and there's an integrity problem as well. And there is it's not that easy to simply collect all the data and put it in one place and do it, because data is not just one table. There's a lot many different divisions, functions, various across conventions. Maybe the notations used are different. So it's actually pretty complex, right? What we're trying to achieve is called as data centralization. That's a solution for it. All right, and at the same time around, IBM. Anyone from IBM here, by the way? I'm a big fan of IBM mainframe. I know it's outgoing technology, but the reason I'm a big fan of it, because it survived 40 years, 4 decades nearly. I do not think any technology moving forward will survive that long. All right, these computers are still there in business. There are a lot of banks in UAE, even in India, a lot of companies in other countries as well, in European countries as well. The legacy system still stays. Still, the data is being processed by mainframe, which is amazing. The mainframe is just a big computer which can handle a lot of data and also can do a lot of processing. That has become a central, that become a muscle. Basically, the technology support from IBM. Actually, mainframe is from IBM. That has helped us to realize this data centralization concept. All right, so people started streamlining the data. Most of the companies, big companies anyway, bought all the mainframes. It's a big computer. You need a complete construction for it, etc., etc. Those times, mainframe engineers are like rocket scientists, in fact. All right, so so they started doing it, and in fact, it won't be an exaggeration if I say your entire IT domain, information technology, is serving one purpose of integrating, of course, collecting the data as well, integrating the data at one location. For what? So that you can take insights from this data and then you can make decisions from it. So IT, the entire IT revolution or the industry itself is serving one purpose of collecting the data, storing it in one location in a consistent format so that we can derive insights and thereby decisions. Okay, but this mainframe has its own disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is it's just a one computer, isn't it? So what if it just fails? I have a question. Again, only ask for the panelists. All of you try to ask it for the entire panelists and attendees so everyone can see it, which I can do it right away. Okay, so the question is, Since we are moving to cloud, do we really think having centralized server data would help in immediate retrieval? So what do you mean by immediate retrieval, Ramji? No, it's an evolution. So it doesn't. Actually, it's outgoing technology. I don't think centralized. Cloud is slightly different. So I'm going to come to the cloud in another 5 minutes. I'll go a little fast forward. So mainframe has done a quite a job, but it does have a problem of is the one computer. So if it dies, then your entire business dead, because data is your business, right? So there's another technology which came in, which is called as virtualization. So it's definitely not a new word for you. Virtualization is a technology of connecting many small computers, let's say hundreds of them, let's say 100 computers, to act like one computer, which is 100 times powerful in terms of storage and processing. We have this virtualization software like VMware and Hyper-V or Hypervision, two popular ones. There are many of it. So this has made things little better, because this is not one computer, it's 100 computer. Even one fails, just 1% data, we can restore it. If mainframe fails, 100% data is gone. Well, there are magnetic tapes. There is no guarantee how much time it will take to restore, whether you can restore, and it's going to kill the business. This is much better technology in terms of reliability. It also really good in terms of maintenance, or you can say scalability, flexible, I would say, scalability. You can increase the number of computers. We can also decrease the number of computers. Accordingly, we can adjust the size. So it's very flexible, all right? And surprisingly, it is also relatively much cheaper than your mainframe, all right? Even the maintenance, everything is pretty straightforward. So obviously, your mainframe is being replaced by virtualized. Like whoever going for the new, they went for virtualized, all right? And the concept of data centralization also took another name called as data warehouse. Data warehouse is just a nice fancy name. It's a one-stop solution for your organization to capture all the data. It's one location where all of your company's data in terms of transactions, payroll, everything will come and fall, okay? And over a period of time, this virtualization actually lead to a cloud, which is essentially a software to automate a lot of tasks we do in virtualization. Like if one node fails, we should manually actually replace it and do some restoration of the data. It is taken care by cloud. In cloud, it's self-service. So if you can, anyone who doesn't need to be a network engineer, so you can click, they can spin off your virtual machine, new computer with whatever requirements you have, 6 GB, this one, and 8 CPUs and stuff like that. So cloud computing, or the cloud itself, is an automation over virtualization, which makes a lot of things much easier and much more efficient, right? That's cloud. So someone asked about it, Ramji. So that is the cloud. And in fact, most of the infrastructure we have right now are on cloud, and some are in virtualization. But cloud is an evolution of virtualization. It is an automation over virtualization. That's all it is. It is not a complete new technology. It's an evolution of virtualization.